what she wants to say, but she just can't say in layman's terms.
It's not that, it's that you want everything that's in front of you, that's close to you, because you're taking care of everybody else's. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's,
No, I'm not. I'm saying that she explained to me what was wrong and doctoring her. And I was like, listen, I just want you to tell me what's wrong and she's going to get better. How long it's going to take and how much of a pain is going to be because she's been coughing for 2 days straight. I'm like, I can't stand it anymore.
That's a good part. No snow.
If they're not dying, they're like making.
All right, folks, getting started for this evening. First up, we have Resolution 10. Was that, did we table that, or is that still on the
No, it
We
didn't
called it at second.
held?
take. We held it a second because we wanted to hear Mr. Derry.
I'm ready to move forward with that.
I'm fine.
Open it up for discussion. Do we want to sit on it? Do we want to open it up and go with it? What do we want to do?
Okay.
Third reading?
Third reading. It should be third reading.
held it because
Sylvia's.
We were waiting for Mr. Derry.
Right. 14 is Kevin. It's the big box. Mary, do we have an update on that?
Exhibit A. In front of you here.
yeah, we have an amendment to that. You should have that in front of you, do you?
Yeah, they do, everybody does.
Did you say that Walmart wanted to come and make a presentation, or was that, are they going to, or should we just go ahead and?
No, Walmart is not making a presentation. I have a meeting with the manager of the Home Depot, but that's scheduled beyond probably the next couple weeks.
So is this written how you want it to be written?
This is written, this is the final, I have to give a lot of credit to, there was a lot of effort put into this between the chief, Vince Yakovovich, myself, Mark Cadetti. We kind of been beating the hell out of this thing, trying to make good law here for the city as it relates to the big box and the security issues. We think we got a piece that works really well. We think we've got it so that it's outlined, that kind of addresses the bigger box users all the way down to the smaller ones that were at the inception level of 25,000 square feet. You know, for them to put together a loss prevention plan is probably really important. So I can speak more about it later, but I think this is a good one. I would like to get it passed if we could.
could we at least hold it till next week so we have a chance to read it?
Okay. I mean, we can hold it if we have a special meeting or whatever, we can do it there
Well, the next meeting is on the 23rd.
or whatever.
That's a special meeting, and I don't think that.
Yeah,
Okay.
especially
Well,
when
see,
you
I-
can only discuss.
Okay, well, I don't know that it's an emergency either. I agree with Dave. I haven't
Well,
had a chance to
it's
read it.
not that it's an emergency, but it is an emergency. And I'll
Well-
tell you why.
Well,
We're trying to get it implemented so that we can, that's why we've had it on the agenda for 3 separate readings and bringing this forth. I don't know that there's anything big in there, but, you know, I'll concede to whatever the council wants to do.
I tend to think that Dave's right. Let's have a chance to read it. And, you know, I don't have a general objection to it. I just need to read this and understand.
I'm just
what
trying to
you're
make
doing.
our shopping centers safer
Yeah,
for people to shop at.
I'm sure
I
that's
think
what it
that's
is.
what we all want.
Yes.
At the same time, I don't think it's necessarily fair that we have this for less than 5 minutes and we're told we need to vote on
I'm
it.
sorry that you only, I thought you got this sent out, no, I thought this was sent out yesterday through an email to all of you. In fact, I thought it was yesterday afternoon.
No, but Joe, you also understand that some of us work full-time, and you know, I haven't had checked my emails all day. So, you know, that really doesn't help a lot.
Did you get it yesterday, Ken?
I don't remember seeing it.
No.
No, nobody got
Not
it.
yesterday, if all of you remember, I was that person,
Oh,
I went
okay,
into ill.
all right.
Yeah,
So that's
Mr.
why-
Mayor, I did
Yes.
check the
You could
mail.
have checked all you wanted.
When I
and
got
didn't
home
send it
last
out.
night, I checked it, all was
Okay,
at lunch.
I apologize.
It wasn't there.
We'll hold that
Okay.
second reading. I think
Yeah.
that's
Yeah, I
fair.
think
Gives
it's
us time to
reasonable.
look that over. And that's yours, Kevin. Hold that second. 17 is Jan's. Obviously, we're gonna hold that at 2 as well. The next one will be resolution number 21, appointment by the mayor of Jackie Nettle, representative of the city of Macedonia to Summit Board of Health. Is that it's kind of a no-brainer, is it not, Mayor?
Right. We've always had a representative on that
Yeah,
board
I don't think
that
there's
serves.
Anyone opposed to a 3 reading on that?
No.
Kevin?
It's kind of mandatory that you have a representative. And it's an unexpired term to possibly that
Right.
we consider it.
Kevin, will you take that one?
Yeah, Pat had been
21?
there for as long as I can remember.
I don't have to read her name, right? I just have to,
No.
I don't have to read it anyhow.
Oh, go
22,
ahead.
Jack McNeil is in the,
You can do it.
the resolution.
You
yeah.
can do it, Bobby.
22 is the approving and amending inclusion of certain ordinances as parts of the various component codes of the codified ordinances. Mayor, a brief description, please.
Yeah, this is, I think this is basically every year, at the end of the year, we obviously have to put and codify for the next year. So these are all of the things that I believe that are.
Josephine, I think.
Josephine, yeah.
Yes, I was taken care of. annually.
Yes, Josephine normally takes care of this. This is part of our codification.
The housekeeping and general
Yeah.
housekeeping.
Right.
We anyone
It's-
opposed to a third reading on that one?
No, we gotta do it.
Dave, will you take that one?
Sure.
23, new position of Information Technology Director for the City of Macedonia. I think we're in the midst of that discussion, correct? So we will be a first reading on that.
Can we have all three readings to get this done? I need the guy on like yesterday.
I'm not
We gotta
opposed to
stop
it.
we gotta stop the bleeding.
I'm not opposed to it. I think we talked about this position creating it yesterday.
I'm fine with third reading.
I'm all right with it.
Jan, will you take that one, please?
Yes, sir. 23, right? You got it.
Moving on to 24, position of zoning inspector of the City of Macedonia, amending chapter 159. Mr. Mayor?
Yeah, this is just a cleanup of the position of the zoning inspector. I don't have the legislation right for me to pull it out, but that's what Claudia told me.
But it says we're establishing, are we establishing a new position? That's what I'm confused.
It's amending what we already
Yeah, it's
established.
amending, and it's just making
Right.
some clerical changes that were,
And it says and amending, establishing the position and amending
Oh,
a
I'm sorry.
chapter, so that, sounds like establishing means
Maybe
some,
reestablishing, whatever.
yeah, I'm not sure.
it says an ordinance establishing the position of zoning inspector of the City of Macedonia, and amending chapter 159. And it's at the bottom here, I guess it's the position of zoning inspector established, the zoning, oh, if you go to the next page, you'll see where it's changing. It says there is hereby created, and it's just saying here the position of assistant zoning inspector is established. The assistant zoning inspector shall, and then there's some verbiage that was taken out.
And the assistant is to cover,
We don't have an assistant, but I think that this was just a cleanup of, we're not putting an assistant in.
I said,
This is just merely cleaning up what we have on our books and cleaning it up so that it's correctly stated.
Anyone opposed to 3 readings on that?
not really, no.
Sylvia, will you take that one, please? 25, an ordinance amending the compensation schedule for the non-union city employees of Macedonia.
And that was just the three, the accounts receivable and payable and the rezoning instructor, that was the only amendment, right?
It appears that the zoning inspector is now there as on 9, and the accounts receivable and payable is changed to a 6 from a 5.
Right.
Right, those are the
The
amendments.
accounts receivable and accounts payable were changed from 5 to 6. The zoning inspector was added as a 9, and we already did the IT person the first go round.
Yeah, there was always a disparity. There shouldn't have been a disparity between a payroll and receivable clerk and the positions within the building department. That is the two,
That's the finance, right?
yes.
Anyone opposed to 3 readings on
I just,
25?
is there any impact on the budget of doing that, or somebody getting promoted?
No, right
Okay.
now, because we're, as you know, Andrea, who's currently in the building department,
Yeah.
is a 6.
Oh, I see. I
And
see what's
and
going on.
she's going to a
So
position
you
that's
don't
a
want to
5.
reduce her salary,
Right,
is that the idea?
that's right, so it's a neutral change here, if you will.
As long as we don't hire another person there. I see what they're saying. Andrea's moving, she's a 6 over there, they want her to be a 6 over here.
Correct.
If that's what.
And we don't have, we did have 2 people, Janelle and.
Janelle now is going to be the.
Yeah,
obviously,
zoning
the
inspector,
And
right,
then
I know.
Desiree became
Yeah,
Kayla's
so, but
position.
those 2 were in there as 2 different
Correct.
positions.
They were, they were 5s where they were,
Yes.
but it doesn't affect Janelle, but and it doesn't affect Desiree, believe it or not, because she started at more of a lower inception level, so it didn't affect her at all.
Okay.
So it's no impact to the budget, it's cleaning up our
For
page.
the moves.
So it should be a 1, 2, 3.
3 readings, I'll take that one.
You got that?
26, Village of Northfield, Summit County Infrastructure Committee and the Ohio Public Works Commission regarding the described improvement and authorizing the mayor to execute all contracts with the Village of Northfield
Yeah, that's-
Public Works Commission regarding infrastructure grants.
It's a mouthful, huh?
Yeah,
The
this,
Rula.
this one is involving committing to something with Northfield Village concerning Ledge Road. That I got from the material. Then they gave some locations on there, which
It goes from the,
Sheffield Steel all the way down to Peppers. And our
Okay.
side of the street is going to be about $800,000, but with this grant would be about $400,000, or what it would do is it would improve from the railroad bridge all the way down, putting in curbs, storms, and what have you. And obviously
that's why it's so
finishes-
expensive then.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, we are partially already curbed, if you know.
Well, I know.
Through
but-
Spring Hill.
But there's, yes.
But this is taking it all the way down to our corporate limits, all the way down to the mini storage on that side of the street.
The minis.
and this
The mini storage,
ordinance
yeah.
is
What-
to,
Which mini store?
The mini storage that's at Route 8.
Oh, mini
Ready store-
storage,
ready
I'm
store.
sorry.
Ready, yeah.
And this
I thought
is-
you said store, so that was a
Okay.
Mayor,
storage.
this is the authorization
Yes,
to,
okay, I know where that is.
this is the authorization to pursue,
This is to pursue it, to
The
get
grant.
to the point. You know, these issue 2 funds, and since it was my department down at the county when I was there, to go after this kind of money, you need, and especially when you have a city and a village going together, your chances of getting the money are very good.
They're better than.
They're better than a lot. And if you don't apply and you don't get yourself on the table, you're never gonna get these monies.
Right, I
So
understand.
we can get about $400,000 here, and then we can also apply for other dollars that may be available either through CDBG or whatever that may apply to this particular type of project when you have some sort of, doing handicap or any of that stuff that kind of falls in there, or anything for senior, handicap ramps and stuff like that would come into play, but.
ADA
so the one
compliance.
ordinance is for,
So the first one's for the apply with the grant,
for,
the second
and the
one's
other
the.
one is for the Ciblo.
Right.
Okay.
But how are we gonna finance this? We can't-
Well,
You may get denied.
Yeah, we may not have to ever get to that point, but my point is
Right.
this: you should apply for all of these things, and wherever you can get the money, or if it's granted and we made the commitment, then we go figure out how we're gonna get the money.
We've done that in the past where
Right, I
we put in for
understand.
grants. If we get it, then we pursue it or not pursue it
And-
based on our financial situation.
The grant will be approved in 2017 or this year?
Yeah, well, we're gonna apply, it'll be approved by the end of the year, it'll be monies for 2017.
Okay, so in theory, could we do a SIB loan on these or can't? we?
Yes, you can. You can do a CIBLO. I don't see any reason why you couldn't do that, but interest money is so low right
It is
now.
extremely low.
We could probably go out and note this so easily and just roll it and get it
Well,
done.
yeah, I get that. The SIB loan I thought was interest-free, is that not true?
I'm not sure about that.
Okay.
I'm not sure.
Well, let me ask this question
We
then.
got 1 minute. You may want to, I'm only saying, you may want to save it for the floor that everybody can hear it.
Well, I guess the question is,
Yeah.
I think it's hard not to go for a grant. I mean, are you guys opposed to a 3 reading on these? Because I would think at least the pledging our cooperation to go for the grant would be the first step. That's a no-brainer.
I really don't have a problem with that, unless if we find ourselves in a condition that we can't take it for whatever reason, would that affect our ability to get additional grants or not?
But
It
it's
won't
in the-
affect it, but I think that if we are lucky enough to get it,
No, if
I
we-
think we better figure out a way how to get
Well,
And
the other
we've done
balance
this
of
in
it.
the past where we go after the grant.
Right.
If we get the money, we figure out can we do it or not. We always have the right of refusal, even though we know if we refuse, likelihood of getting another grant starts to dwindle because you went after it.
Right.
I would say we need to at least get the
What
figures out
happened-
here, and it's a cooperative with
One of the,
Northfield, so we're not carrying the whole brunt of the 2 million.
one of the concerns I have, and I think that side of the road is going to have to get fixed, just because I've been driving on that enough that it's horrible. I thought we had repaid that within the last X
No.
years.
My 9 years, we
I
haven't.
can't even remember the last time I was paid.
Well, then, if that's the case, then we have to do
It's
it.
been a long time.
I have a
Longer
question.
than 9 years. So,
It's bad now, it's very bad, and the reason it's so expensive is you're trying to get some storm sewer recovery so it doesn't collapse, because a lot of the non-storm sewer areas are collapsing.
Yeah, and obviously, we're gonna be doing under the bridge, we're gonna be concreting that in, we're gonna
Yes.
be doing some drainage work over there, and so the improvements that will now be taken almost to the bridge now, or it goes to actually Sheffield Steel there. So, but, I think that that's gonna be really important for that street. It's gonna make it
Okay.
a lot nicer, because
And
it's
if-
like we have 3 tributaries through our city, what I call tributaries, main, and that is Highland, 82, and Ledge Road.
Well, and even if we get the money, we can't start until 271's done. And they haven't finished
Oh, yeah.
that bridge at all,
Yeah, well, that's for
because they've
sure.
been concentrating
Well,
on
that'll be
everything
later
outside.
this
The
year.
plans aren't even started yet, and so,
Right, that's gonna be at
that's
least
the
a
other
year.
part of these things too, is that, once you start getting shelf-ready plans, your chances of getting the money are like that quick.
So what is it gonna cost us to do for the grant? Are we doing the plans at this point?
Well, the plans are gonna be $81,000, although I think Joe said to me, or Don said to me, that there's a pickup on that, but we'll have to ask them about that.
What's the pickup mean?
The pickup means that they'll pay for the engineering part of it. And I'm not sure if it
so
was,
we are awarded
The Public
grant.
Works,
if the Public
people?
Works will pick up the engineering, so
Oh.
I gotta ask and verify
So-
that question.
So what I'm trying to understand is, $81,000, if we get the grant, then they pick it up, is what you think. But the way I see that is that if we apply for the grant,
and
we're
we're
co- we're
refused.
com- whether we're refused or not, we're committing $81,000 for this year's budget.
We don't have to run and do the plans right away. So I'm not gonna commit to that at this point.
Well, I'm just trying to understand that. And-
What I am saying to you is this: if you have plans that are ready, and I'm not suggesting that we have to go and do the plans right now.
Right, I
We can
know.
apply for it and then develop the plans.
That's a lot.
But if you have plans, you get extra bonus points for having the plans.
When is the application due?
Oh, I wish Joe was in here, I would ask him.
Is he out there?
So the
Yeah, he's out there.
81,000 that would be included in the Ohio Public Works State Capital Improvement Program,
Right.
where you're trying to get the loan from them.
It's gotta
That
be
would be
doing
for
fairly soon.
2016 or 2017?
It's likely 2017
Yeah,
funds.
So there has to
So-
be some cutoff for
Yeah.
applying.
They
and that's the
review
question.
them in the 2016, and you aren't gonna likely get the monies until
Yes, I
just like they
understand.
just produced the 2015s.
I thought Joe was up there.
Well, if he's out there, he's not out there.
Oh,
He's
okay.
somewhere, but he's not out
Okay.
there.
Maybe in the bathroom.
Oh, he's
This-
here.
this-
Oh,
I'm sorry.
Okay, go ahead. We can ask him on the floor, but that's okay.
okay.
This issue,
I'm sorry.
no, if you don't want to talk about it, we won't talk about it.
No, I think it's important, so.
This issue came up probably 5 or 6 years ago, and if you remember, it caused quite a bit of stir. We entered into passed one of these things that said authorize the mayor, and I'm not trying to attack Joe, I'm just trying to understand this, let me see this, enter into Council of the City of Macedonia authorizes Mayor Joseph Miglerini, Chief Executive Officer, to execute
Hi, Mike, look who I found.
all contracts with the Village of Northfield and the Ohio Public Works Commission. And if you remember, a large amount of council didn't think that we had actually authorized the mayor to start, spending money, and that was an issue. So I guess I'm trying to understand what this language means and what we're really authorizing Joe, because
All right, since Joe just walked in, why don't we ask those two questions? One, when is the issue 2 applications need to be filed?
When are they due?
Due.
In June.
So they're due in June.
by,
Okay.
by agreeing, may I ask another question? By authorizing you to proceed for this grant, what type of financial commitment is this is for the city this year? in regards to your,
For the city this year, it would only be the engineering portion of work that's done this year. The work, the actual construction can't be until 2017.
when you say engineering,
Didn't you say there was some sort of funds to pay for the engineering?
Well, the OPWC funds generally can be used for engineering or for construction, but remember, we're not gonna get the funds until, best case scenario, applications are due in June. It's still a couple of months before you have the scoring, you find out whether you get the money. So it's probably not until late 2016 or early 2017 when you actually receive the
So
money.
we don't
So-
really actually have to move forward on the plans at this time. We can go and let it get graded, come back, and then see where we stand on the grading of the issue 2 application.
Move forward with the plans?
Right.
Well, remember, Village of Northfield has already begun work on the plans. The reason being, you score additional points for having the plans ready.
so that's what I'm trying to understand.
Yes,
Is
good
this,
point.
I have two questions at this point. Is the intention that the city is going to start doing the engineering plans in this year?
Yes,
And-
the engineering plans will be done this year.
And what does that cost? You just created 3 questions, but that's
Okay.
all right.
Sorry about that.
No, it's a lawyer problem. Go ahead.
As far as the engineering costs, we can get you that number. I'll speak with Northfield's engineer to find out exactly what that would be.
All right, and then just the good old, let's get the grant applied. What is the cost for applying for the grant?
Well, that would be a part of this year's engineering cost, so that would be
So
part of
you'll
the
get-
information I find out from the Village of Northfield engineer.
But aren't you gonna do that work, or is Northfield's engineers
Well,
doing
it's a
that?
joint application, so one community has to be the lead, in this case, Northfield. would be the
Northfield.
So
lead.
their engineer's doing most, it's gonna be.
Their engineer would actually be the one filing the application, correct?
So
So
we need to know
out of
how much
these
that's
two-
gonna cost us. So I think we need to have, we need to hold this.
Well,
I
out of
think.
these two
Start at first reading.
ordinances.
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
First reading, Jan, we take the last two.
The last two should be, the quick question, out of these two ordinances, what I'm reading, our commitment, is this for 2016, is the 81,000 that's on the SID loan?
No, the 81,000 would be if we get funded, remember there's two scenarios.
Right.
One to get a 50% grant,
Right,
second scenario is 90% loan. If we get funded under the second scenario,
I see.
we would owe 81,000 in construction costs in 2017, and then the balance is the 30-year
Over the year.
0%
Oh, gotcha.
interest.
Well,
Okay,
that makes
so-
a big difference.
this is
Okay.
actually going for 2 ways to try and.
Correct,
apply,
yes.
Which is
We're
what we've done in
applying
the
two
past.
different
Okay.
ways.
Okay.
That was my question,
But,
so you answered my
but it
question.
could cost us
Good.
81,000, which we
In
need to.
2017.
Yeah.
Yeah,
well,
in
we got a bid
2017, correct.
Okay.
Well, but you're also saying it's gonna cost us engineering fees in 2016.
We're sharing in them, right?
Yes, and of course, we're sharing in.
Oh, the 81 is
engineering
addition
costs.
to the share.
Yes,
All right,
correct.
but I think we need to share.
We need to hold it.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, so I'll speak with Northfield,
Get a little more
get
clarification.
the cost, the 2016 cost nailed down for us.
And if you
That
can
would be
find out,
excellent.
when is the last date, or when is the best date to submit? Because you know, the later you submit, sometimes you're not considered at all. You're saying they all have to be in by
It's
June,
Jan
but if you have a
27th.
feel for what's
Yes.
best timeframe to
I
get it
mean,
in.
typically, there's a deadline, and the exact date escapes my memory, but typically, everybody submits on the date, or maybe a day or
I
two
think
at a
I-
time,
Okay.
so.
Forward this on my Facebook page, say this article.
I will
This
take,
isn't new, we've done it
I
several
will take
times.
the last motion as well.
So are we gonna also make a
Excuse me.
motion, I'm sorry.
We already have an email about this, there's no question about what this is.
Yeah, I
It's just
actually,
accepting the
Right.
agreement that's been set forth.
Right.
I've read through this. I was confused because it said it was confidential, but it's public record, so I'm not sure.
Nothing's any longer confidential when it goes on the record. It's open to.
Right, so all of
I think
this,
the wording
public
said
record.
maybe. I think the wording said, maybe.
yeah, so I got confused. Is it or
The
isn't it?
motion is essentially to be done.
Once we
I
read it out
understand.
there, it's
Thank goodness.
Yes.
It's been
Okay.
discussed long
All right.
enough out on the floor, so.
Yeah, we're gonna make a motion to have a meeting for the finance And we have a special
That's
meeting on
already-
16th.
that's
Okay.
already cleared from, so wait, Nick, you gave me the last two, right?
Yes.
26, 27, okay. I just want to make sure I get the number right.
that than I was kind of a little confused about that.
My pleasure.
Well, you know, my question was the second part, the loan to pay for the first part. So he kind of answered that it's two ways going on.
So if comes in with 6 instead of 5, then
Would you like me to?
Josephine, do you want the window shut?
Yeah, if you don't mind, they're really heavy for some reason, just particularly heavy right now.